Welcome back to the channel, my friends. This is Mystery Recapped. Today we have a movie from 2010 called Steel Doors. This movie is about a man waking up in an empty room with no food and drink, and what he is willing to go through to get out of this situation. The main character is a man in his 30s who wakes up in a completely empty and dark room with a black closet and a steel iron door embedded in the wall. The man has a headache after a night of fun. Turning his head to the side, he sees a dead rat, which immediately wakes him up. Puzzled, he begins to open the steel door, thinking it is some kind of joke, but all in vain. Next, the young man picks up the phone and realizes that there is no connection. He is afraid he will be late for work and asks to be allowed to at least call his boss, but the answer is silence. The man becomes dehydrated and hungry and ill. In the next scene, we see what the second day has begun. He is still in the room, but the rat has maggots that gave off a stinky smell. In desperation, the man begins to urinate in his own shoes to reduce his thirst, suspecting his friends. In anger, he hits the ceiling with a lamp, where he accidentally discovers a key to a closet. The man opens it and sees construction tools for breaking off and dismantling walls. After examining the tools, he starts kicking the door, but the guy doesn't succeed. In anger, he kicks the closet but then sits down against the wall and thinks it's not worth the effort and what he needs to think. The man then sees a hole in the wall and decides what the best option would be to punch through it. The walls turned out to be very strong and thick, so it took a lot of effort. Time was running out, the work was progressing very slowly, and when the man realized what he needed, food, and overcoming, he ate the maggots which looked disgusting from a dead rat. He overcome the nausea and then back to work. After a couple of hours, we see what, in addition to the concrete in the wall, embedded iron rebar. And now, exhausted and tired, the man strikes one last blow and discovers what the wall is pierced through. This gives him strength, and despite the bloody bruises, he begins to strike even harder. In the next scene, we learn how the young man makes a hole in the wall just the right size and climbs through it. But where he sees what he most did not want to see. It was the exact same empty room. Now there was a coffin in that room instead of a steel box. Taking a piece of rebar, he opens the lid and sees a sleeping girl in an exotic outfit. The guy thinks she is dead, but the girl abruptly wakes up, startling the man himself. The girl spoke a different language and did not understand the guy, which made her even more frightened and began to run, huddled in a corner and screaming in panic. The tired man didn't want to explain anything more and went to sleep in a coffin. In the middle of the night, the young girl climbs over the wall and wakes up a man. She holds out a hammer to him, hinting that he should start hitting the overwall. The man then reveals that his hands are all bloody and he cannot strike. But then he realizes that the situation will not change if he just lies there, so man gets to work. After a while, he notices that the girl wants to go to another room to empty herself, so she runs to her. He makes her do it in her shoes, so they can drink the liquid later. Next, they proceed to dismantle the wall, as suddenly they hear the sound of a lock opening. As soon as one of them approaches it, everything goes back into place and the lock closes again. Then the man gets the idea to walk with his back to the door, and it works. In the next scene, we see them end up in the same room, with a hole in the center and the metal door in front of them, and the man realizes what this is the grave for them. It didn't take the guy long to realize what the next step was to dig. They get to work. Another 24 hours pass. We see the man completely losing his strength. The girl tries to chip him up, but she fails. Afterward, she helps him out of the hole, and the girl gives the guy time to sleep, so that he gains strength. After a while, the girl begins to feel interest in the guy and excite him, after which they make love. Upon waking up, the young man sees what she is lying on the concrete floor and begins to freeze. Exhausted, he walks on all four to the coffin, tears off the mat and covers the girl with it when lies down next to her to die. They are asleep and suddenly they hear the door begin to open. Just like last time they stood with their backs to the door and went. Turning around they saw another planet, a fabulous and beautiful world with a clear river and tall trees. And holding hands they walk forward. They are like Adam and Eve, having survived all the fears, horrors and trials. They came here to start a new life. Well friends, if you like this video, like it, so as not to lose our channel, subscribe. Good luck to you all and see you soon.